Say shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. My name is Yarapah. We are at the House of David. We're conducting our Friday night Sabbath service. Okay, we are located at 191 Howard Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. Again, 191 Howard Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. You are welcome to join us. We host our Friday night classes from approximately 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., sometimes 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then we also host our regular Saturday afternoon Sabbath services from approximately 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. located again here at 191 Howard Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. Again, my name is Yarapah. I will be presiding over tonight's Sabbath service. We are the Israelites. Hebrew Israelites, Hebrew being our language, Israelite our nationality. We teach that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the descendants of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and that we have fallen into a low estate, that we were sold into slavery because we broke the laws of God found in the Bible given to us by Moses in the first 5 books of the Bible, and that we can come out of this estate that we're in and go back into our rightful ownership, our rightful place as the kings and priests of the planet Earth by following these commandments while following Yahweh Shai, or who in the world calls Jesus Christ, as our example. We believe that Christ, or Yahweh Shai, is the Son of God, that he gave himself to die for the sins of the nation of Israel. We teach repentance, we teach righteousness, we teach the laws, statutes, and the commandments. We teach grace and truth, we teach mercy, and we teach history also. So you are welcome to come join us, okay? If you want to learn the truth about the Bible, you want to learn the truth about the state of the so-called black man, black woman, Native man, Native woman, Latin man, Latin woman, you can come learn the Bible with us, okay? Again, this is our Friday night service. So I want to start, as I usually do, in the by honoring the Sabbath, okay? By going to Ecclesiasticus, okay? Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 33 and verse 7.
I can read it now, right? In the book of Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verse 7. Why doth one day excel another? When as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun.
So ask the question, why does one day excel another when we get the same light from the same sun every day of the year, right? Go ahead.
By the knowledge of the Lord, they were distinguished.
Right, so it's by the knowledge of the Most High God that they are distinguished. There's a difference between certain days. Even though we get the same sunlight from the same sun every day of the year, there's a difference between days, okay? Some days are higher than others, and the Most High is the one who makes that distinction, okay? Go ahead.
And he altered seasons and feasts.
And he altered seasons and feasts. So it's the Most High who makes the differences between the different feasts and the different seasons and the feasts associated with those seasons, right? So he's the one who makes the difference between spring and summer and fall and winter, okay? They're in their orders because the Most High made it that way, all right? Go ahead.
Some of them have he made high days.
Right. Some days the Most High made high days and hallowed them, or as it says, right? Go ahead.
And hallowed them. And some of them have he made ordinary days.
Right. He made high days, meaning he sanctified them. He made them sacred, holy days. And other days he made regular days, ordinary days, right? Go ahead.
And all men are from the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was it.
And Adam was created of earth.
That was it. I'm sorry. All right. So some days the Most High made higher than others, okay? He sanctified certain days over other days. And this is one of those days that he sanctified, right? The weekly Sabbath day. And that was made all the way back in the beginning, right? We go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 1.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 1.
Read 1 to 3. Okay, because this is one of those days that the Most High made holy and sanctified and hallowed. All right.
Read the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 1.
All right, go ahead.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them.
Right, the heavens and the earth were finished, and the host of them, meaning everything that was made in those realms. So in the heavens we see what? The sun, the moon, the stars, right? And in the earth we have all the different creatures, right? The man, beasts, fish, right? Fowl or birds, right? Those things that inhabited those realms, he made them and finished them, right? Go ahead.
It says, and on the seventh day, the Most High Power ended his work which he had made.
Right, so on the seventh day, as the sixth day was coming to a close, the Most High ended his work, right? Go ahead.
And he rested on the seventh day.
And he rested. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And he rested the seventh day from all the work, from all his work which he had made.
Read verse 3 again.
Verse 3?
Yeah, read verse 3 again.
Verse 3 or 2?
3.
3, okay, Palmer says.
Wait, did you finish 2?
No, yeah, I just finished 2.
Oh, Slacky, restart from the top.
Okay,
start from the top.
yeah.
That's my bad.
And that's right. Read the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. And on the seventh day, the Most High Power ended his work which he had made.
Right.
And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
Right, and on the seventh day he rested, meaning he stopped what he was doing. He stopped creating things on the seventh day. Okay, go ahead.
And the Most High Power, Father Yahweh, blessed the seventh day and sanctified it.
Sanctified it. See, he sanctified it. He made it a holy day. All right. He said this day is different from other days. Okay. This day is sacred. This day is holy. All right. Go ahead.
Because that in it he had rested from all his work which Most High Power created and made.
Right. So the seventh day is a blessed and sanctified day because the Most High ended his work. Okay, he stopped working. In fact, that's what Sabbath means. I said that last time I taught. Sabbath or Shabbath means rest. It means stop, cease. Okay, so on this day, the Most High rested because he ended his work. You ever notice that the Bible, whenever it gives you a commandment, it gives you the reason why he made that commandment. He stopped what he was doing on the seventh day and blessed it. Okay, he blessed it because he stopped what he was doing. He rested. Okay. So from there, get me Exodus chapter 20. And you know what I want.
Oh, okay, yeah, so
20 and 8.
I'll read it. Read the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Right, it said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Why? Because he knew that we would forget the Sabbath day, okay? That's why he said, remember it. Okay, go ahead.
It says, 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord Yahweh thy power.
Right, so we get 6 days to do all that we need to do. We get 6 days to do our yard work, our shopping, our work for hire, okay? Everything that we need to do throughout the week to get by, we have 6 days to do it. But on the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, it is the weekly Sabbath day. Right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter.
So he said on the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to do any work, neither you nor your children. Right? Go ahead.
Thy manservant, nor thy maidservant.
So your manservant or your maidservant, if you have anybody that works for you, whether they are an employee of yours or if they are a servant in your house, like a yard attendant or a home aide, or even if you have a butler, if you're blessed enough to have a butler, if you have people who work for you in your fields or on your property, they're supposed to get the Sabbath day off as well. They're not supposed to work for you on the Sabbath day, right? Read on.
Nor thy cattle.
Or your cattle. So if you have any pets, or if you have farmland that you have animals that you take care of, sheep, oxen, or whatever, donkeys, whatever, they're supposed to get the Sabbath day off too. They get a day of rest also. All right, go ahead.
Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
So anybody that came into our land or even on our property, right, they're supposed to get the Sabbath day off too. Okay. Then they're supposed to honor the Sabbath day as well. They're supposed to abide by the rules, even if they're just passing through. Okay, read on.
Which says,
verse 11.
Yeah, verse 97. For in 6 days the Lord Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is.
Right, we read that in Genesis 2, verses 1 to 3. Right, go ahead.
And rested the seventh day.
He rested the seventh day. Right, go ahead.
Wherefore the Lord Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed
and he
it.
hallowed it, meaning he made it sanctified. He made it glorious. All right. Jump to chapter 31, verse
I was going
12.
to 15. Well, yeah, I was just ready. That's all I'm for. Yeah. 30. Well, say it again.
Started chapter 31.
Same book?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Verse 13.
13. Okay. That's the same book. Now the book of Exodus chapter 31 verse 13. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel.
The children of Israel, right? Go ahead.
Saying, verily my Sabbath ye shall keep.
Right, he said, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, meaning this is the Most High Sabbath. Remember, we read about it in Genesis 2. He ended he ended his work on the seventh day and sanctified it. So this was a decision that he made. It's not something that we came up with. We did not come up with the Sabbath day. Okay, we did not come up with Friday sundown to Saturday sundown being a Sabbath day. That was something that the Most High came up with, as we read in both Ecclesiasticus and Genesis. We did not make this up. Okay, man made up his own Sabbaths. All right, man made change the Sabbath day from Friday sundown to Sunday. All right, we did not come up with this. All right, the scripture says that the Most High's Sabbaths we shall keep, his Sabbaths. All right, read on.
For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations.
So throughout our generations, meaning as long as we existed, okay, as long as we lived, it was a sign. The Sabbath is a sign between us and the Most High, the children of Israel and the Most High, right? Read on.
That ye may know that I, the Most High, am the Lord Yahweh, that doth sanctify
So
you.
that way we know that the Most High sanctified us. That's why we keep the Sabbath day. That way we know he sanctified us. He chose us, not the other way around. It's not something that we came up with on our own, right? Read on.
We said, ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you.
Right, it's holy unto us. It's a sacred day to us, just like it is to the Most High. Read on.
Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death.
See, there you go. That's how serious it was. That's how serious it was. We were under the penalty of death if we violated the Sabbath day. Read on.
For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
There we go. That's how serious it was. We would get put to death if we violated the Sabbath day, right? Read on.
So 6 days may work be done.
See, again, we reiterate that. You get 6 days to do what you need to do. You get 6 days to do your laundry, your grocery shopping, your yard work, your work for hire, all of the above, right? You get 6 days to do that, right? Go ahead.
But in the seventh day, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest.
Sabbath of rest. You get to chill. You get to take a break from all the stuff that we do during the week, right? Read on.
It says, holy to the Lord Yahweh. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death.
See, he said the third time. You get put to death for breaking the Sabbath day, right? Go ahead.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations.
Yep, go ahead.
For a perpetual covenant.
A perpetual covenant, meaning continuous, meaning as long as we live, as long as we existed, we were to keep the Sabbath day and keep it holy, right? Go ahead.
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever.
Forever, all right? This is an eternal covenant with the Most High, right? Read on.
For in 6 days the Lord Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested.
He rested, right?
And was refreshed.
And he started over, okay? So, give me Psalms 118.
Verse 24?
Yes, sir. Psalms 118, verse 24. Because the Sabbath day is a beautiful day, okay? The Sabbath day is something that we should always look forward to. Something that we should always, as Israelites, we should always look forward to every Sabbath day, because every Sabbath day that we come to, we get closer and closer to our salvation. I'm gonna keep saying that until it happens. Every Sabbath day we come to, that we are allowed to fellowship with each other, we get closer and closer and closer to our salvation. We getting inching ever so close. And as y'all can see, the time is running quick. All right, time is speeding up. All right, it seems like every other day is a Sabbath day. All right, go ahead.
Read the book of Psalms, chapter 118, verse 24. This is the day which the Lord Yahweh have made.
Right, this is the day that the Most High has made. He made the Sabbath day, right? He made every day, but he made the Sabbath day too. He made it special, right? Go ahead.
We will rejoice and be glad in it.
And we rejoice whenever we are able to come to the Sabbath day, because not everybody made it to the Sabbath. Not everybody makes it to every Sabbath. We've been blessed to be able to come to the Sabbath every year, or every day, every week. Okay, and like I said, we get ever closer and closer to our salvation every time. Every Sabbath we inch closer to the end. All right, so as y'all can see, the title of tonight's class is Racism, Nationalism, and Ethnocentrism. Okay, it's racism, nationalism, and ethnocentrism. Some big words right there, right? And the reason why I want to go over this is because all these themes, all three of these philosophies and ideologies are present in the Bible, okay? And they are present, I mean, they're present throughout humanity altogether. I mean, racism is probably the most common thing among man. Like, it's almost natural for man to be racist, right? It's almost natural for man to be nationalist and ethnocentric, okay? So we're going to go over these concepts, and we're going to decide whether we as Israelites are any of these things. Are we racist? Are we nationalists? Are we ethnocentric? Okay? First, we're going to define these things. So, Ben, what I want you to do first, if you can, I want you to look up the definition of the word racism. Okay, I want you to look up racism for me, and if you can, look it up in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, because they have a specific definition that I like, that made sense. Okay. We actually have a big dictionary. I was going to say you. Where is
Was it nationalism or?
I said racism,
I know racism,
nationalism, and ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism. You need me to spell it for you?
No, I know it's sorry.
Ethnocentrism.
With a C. I know it's ethno. Yeah, I got it.
ETH. Ethno. ETHNO.
Oh, you going too fast,
ETH.
Yeah, ET.
ETHNO.
NO, yeah.
CENTRRISM. Ethnocentrism. Okay, so first we're going to go over racism. We're going to see what the definition of racism is. Okay, because we get accused a lot of being racist as Israelites. We get accused of racism all the time. Like, we're going to see, are we really racist? Do we practice racism? Right? We're going to go over these scriptures and we're going to classify them and see whether or not these things attribute to us or do they not. And we're going to see how our forefathers, our ancestors interacted, or how they qualified these things. Okay? You found racism, Ben?
Okay, racism.
Racism, okay.
All right. Okay, racism. A doctrine or a teaching without scientific support that claims to find racial differences in character, intelligence, etc., that asserts the superiority of one race over another or others, and that seeks to maintain the supposed purity of a race or the races.
Or the races, right? Is it more than that?
Any program to practice of racial discrimination, segregation, based on such beliefs.
Based on such belief, right? So it says that it is a doctrine or teaching, right? That's from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, right? It says a doctrine or belief that the differences between races
Without scientific
support. So there's nothing to really back this that says that one race is superior to another, right? That's what it's basically saying. And what was the second definition on that?
It claims that asserts the superiority of one race over another or others, and that seeks to maintain the supposed purity of a race or the races.
Right? And the second part?
Any program or practice of racial discrimination, segregation, etc., based on such beliefs.
Right. So it's basically telling you that racism is a system, right? It's a system based off the idea that one race is superior to another, right? Now, what is the basis of that belief, right? Is it something physical? Is there race in that dictionary right there? It should be like,
yeah, they have a race. Okay.
Give me there should be like the biological definition of race.
Okay, race. Okay, they have here any of the different varieties or populations of human beings distinguished by all physical traits such as hair, eyes, skin color, body shape, etc.
Okay.
Traditionally, the three primary divisions are Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid.
Caucasoid, Negroid, and what was the last one? Mongoloid?
Yeah, Mongoloid.
So that's basically like East Asians, like where Mongolia is at. So they think that there's a classification of people based off of our physical attributes, right? That's what he's basically saying. Like our hair texture, our skin color, our bone density, muscle mass, height, hair, you know what I mean? Those things distinguish us one from another, kind of like breeds of animals. Like you have the species of big cats, right? But then you have lions, you have tigers, jaguars, so on and so forth, right? Dogs, you have what? You got poodles, Labradors, so on and so forth, right? So it's basically classifying humans according to your physical characteristics. And then racism is the discrimination, a system of discrimination based off of those ideas, based off of the classification, the different classifications of humans, right? So you got black people, so-called white people with different characteristics. Now, you believe the racism essentially is we believe that we are superior to you because of our physical characteristics, right? You're physically different than us, but so therefore we believe that we are superior to you. Right? That's essentially what racism is, right? And do we not experience racism here in America based off of what we look like? We get treated differently because of what we look like. Some of our genetic features, right? We were always made fun of for having wide noses, big lips, dark skin, right? So-called nappy hair, right? We get made fun of for all these things. We get treated differently for these things, and they believe that we are unintelligent because of these things, right? So, let me ask you a question. Does the Bible say these things are true and accurate?
Say it again?
Does the Bible make these things true and accurate?
Yes. Well, hold on.
Is any race in the Bible? Does the Bible affirm that the races are superior to each other based off of physical characteristics, the physical differences between them? Does the Bible affirm that? His brother shaking his head no. All right.
I would say, yeah.
Where?
First of all, when they make fun of us, you know who you're making fun of. You already know that.
Right.
So, of course, you're correct me if I'm wrong. I would say to a certain degree, I would say, no.
Based off of physical characteristics, the differences between the nations, right? Are they all physical?
Between all the other nations.
Between every nation, between us and the so-called Chinese and so-called between us and Ham, right? The physical differences, is that what makes us or them superior to one another? Think about us and Esau, all right? Are the physical differences between us, is that what makes them superior to us, or is that what makes us superior to them? What's the difference? Does the Bible affirm that?
Well, I would say that the difference as far as, because we had a certain punishment, so how can I say?
But is it because of anything physical?
That what?
That they're over us?
No, that don't have nothing to do with it.
Okay, now how do we go there to prove that? What makes Israel over everyone? What makes us as Israelites over everyone? Is it because of anything physical?
No.
No? Okay. Now hold that. Then I want you to now look up nationalism. Give him back the mic. Give him back the mic. I want you to look up nationalism. And then after that, I want you to look up ethnocentrism. Baba Kushah.
So before you get it, back to what you were saying, for as our physical attributes don't make them superior over us.
But does it make us superior to them?
Now that part right there, yeah. Because we're serving the punishment, we're not, considered superior.
Right, but even then, even when we were in our righteousness, do our physical attributes make us superior to other nations?
But then again,
ponder on that for a second. What do you think, brother?
I understand what you're saying. No. However, the bloodline, because of the promises, is the only physical attribute that would give us some kind of superiority over Esau or any other nation.
Does the Bible affirm that?
I'm saying yeah now.
You say yes?
No, I'm saying remember that because we dominate in sports, fighting, rapping, teaching. We dominate.
But is that anything physical?
I tell you.
Is that because of any physical superiority? Because remember, we'll get into it in a second. You found it, Ben?
Yeah.
Nationalism? Okay, please define it.
Okay, nationalism. All right. The devotion to one's nation, patriotism, excessive, narrow, or jingoist patriotism, chauvinism, the doctrine that the national interests, security, etc., are more important than the international considerations. The desire for or advocacy of national independence.
That's it on that? Now think about that for a second. He said the belief, woman said I'll call you back. It is the belief or the doctrine that our country, our national interests exceeds the concern of other nations, right? A devotion to your country. It threw chauvinism in there, right? Right? We hear that Donald Trump gets called a nationalist all the time, right? We get told that other nations, especially nations that have strong militaries, right, that are devoted to their ideals and they expect you to serve your country, that they're nationalists, right? Is that always a bad thing?
To serve your country?
Or to be a nationalist? Is that always a bad thing? To be a nationalist, to have extreme devotion to your country and your people? Is that a bad thing? Okay. Well, now does the Bible say that? We're going to ponder on that for a second. Okay. Let's ponder on that for a second. Now, then, last one, I want you to get ethnocentrism.
Okay. ethnocentrism. Okay, the emotional attitude that one's own ethnic group, nation, or culture is superior, an excessive or inappropriate concern for racial matters.
Read that last part again.
Okay, an excessive or inappropriate concern for racial matters.
And an inappropriate, excessive concern for racial matters. Right? That's it on that? Okay, now, so we defined racism, we defined nationalism, and we defined ethnocentrism, right? So let me ask y'all a question. Do we as Israelites, and Ben, I want you to answer this too, right? Do we fit any of those characteristics or any of those definitions? Do those things apply to us? Are we racist? Are we nationalist? Are we ethnocentric? Are we are we one of the three? Are we any combination of thereof? Or are we all three? Are we all the above? Think about it. Think about it for a second. What do you say, brother? We're nationalists, okay. What about you, brother in the back? What you think?
Yeah, we're nationalists.
We're nationalists, okay. What do you think, Zach?
And what did it say again about that? It said, yeah, I'm glad which one, yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna, okay, so we're all the above, or which one are we? Because remember, racism is, okay, our physical characteristics make us superior to you, right? Nationalist is my country, my people only. I care about my country and my people only, right? Ethnocentrism is our ways are better than yours, right?
Of course, you're going to come wrong, but that part when you said about my country, we know this is not our country.
No, just think of not necessarily here in America.
Okay.
We as Israelites, our nation matters more than everybody else's. We're not concerned about nobody else's country except ours.
I agree with that part. We're concerned about us.
So we're nationalists, you think?
If that's what's part of the definition, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Ben?
I agree with that, okay.
What say you? What say you, Ben?
So we all three.
You're all three.
So we all three.
You said we're all three. We're all the above. We're racist, nationalist, and ethnocentric.
Time and a season for everything under the sun.
Let's get that scripture real fast.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, let's get that scripture real fast. Ecclesiastes. Okay.
Time for everything.
There's a time for everything under the sun. Because we've been called what? Black supremacists, supreme black nationalists, right? Now these are all proverbs and bywords that Esau puts on us, but let's see what the Bible says. Okay.
That's what.
Ecclesiastes, I believe it starts at chapter 2.
Chapter 1?
Chapter 3?
Oh, chapter 3?
Yeah, first verse.
In the sun. Oh, no, time for more. Yeah, it's 3. Right, it's 3. Yep, that's right. I got it.
Yeah.
Should I read it?
Yep.
Okay, read out the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 3. No, start from
verse
2,
1. Start at verse 1.
Oh, yeah, pardon. Yeah, you start 1, yes, sir. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
So there's a time and a place for everything. It says every purpose under the heaven, okay? Not just one or the other. There's a time for everything, okay? Read on.
A time to be born and a time to die.
A time to be born, a time to be alive, right? Go ahead.
A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted.
Okay.
A time to kill.
A time to kill. See? There's a time to kill. There is a time to kill. All right? Read on.
And a time to heal.
And a time to heal, right? Go ahead.
A time to break down. And a time to build up.
Now jump down to verse. Where is it at? Time to 8. Time to verse 8.
A time to love.
A time to love, right?
And a time to hate.
A time to hate. There's a time for that. Okay, a lot of people don't want to hear that. There's a time to hate. Okay, we've been brainwashed to believe that there's only love all the time. No, there is a time to hate as well. And there's also time for what? Read on.
It says a time of war.
A time of war. That means fighting, bloodshed, death. There's a time for it. Okay, read on.
And a time of peace.
And a time of peace. All right. There's a time for everything. Okay, there's a time for everything. All right. So we're gonna go through some of the scriptures that we always use, and we're gonna classify whether it's racist, whether it's nationalist, or it's ethnocentric. Okay. Let's start with one of the basics. We're gonna jump to Deuteronomy, chapter 7. And I want you to read verse 6 first. I want you to read verse 6.
We're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power.
Right, so it says we are a holy people to the Most High, right? Israel is a holy people to the Most High. Read on.
Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right, he said he chose us to be a special people to the Most High himself. Right, read on.
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people upon the face of the earth, right? The Most High chose us above all people, right? So let me ask y'all a question. Just reading that verse alone, which of the three does that qualify under? Is that racist? Is that nationalist? Or is it ethnocentric? Which one?
See, I would have to have it right in front of me.
Is that verse racist? Just that one verse. Is it racist? Is it nationalist? Or is it ethnocentric? I'm gonna mess y'all heads up with this one, huh?
Since he's referring to the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, this verse, I would say it's nationalist.
Is nationalist? Okay.
We'll have to
What do you
have that.
What do you think, Zach?
I would say,
I'm sorry, brother. In the back. What's your name?
Aliyahu.
Aliyahu. Okay. Aliyahu. What do you think? What do you think?
Nationalist, ethnocentric, and
You think it's all three?
racist.
You think it's all three? Okay. What do you think, Zach?
see, I will go. I'm gonna go with that too.
You gonna-
See,
you
if
think
I had
it's
it
all
in front of
three?
me, the definition, I'd remember how when I said the definition. I'm gonna say the same thing.
Okay.
I just want to say the reason why I'm saying I'm giving that answer.
Okay.
Because understand about Esau's English
Uh-huh.
and how they
How they classify certain words? Yes.
in the dictionary, but they change it to suit them.
Exactly.
But all of the ingredients, ethnocentric, racist, it shows where the Most High cares about race.
Yes.
So it's really, but Esau will try to trap you with the words, with the wording. Well, see, you're racist. But the Most High said, look, only Israel have I known. I don't know anybody else.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
what are you going to say about it? Well, you have to be racist. I don't know anybody else in your nation.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know Israel. Matter of fact, you know what? He allowed them to be in a state where they cursed. Chinese got a Mongolism or whatever they call that. And he said he doesn't like that he made a covenant with us only,
Right.
not with them.
Right.
So the Most High is being choosy and choosing which nation he likes, and and he given
Now, what's the basis for that, though? So, okay, so if anybody on the chat couldn't hear, the brother was saying that the definitions that Esau comes up with these words can sometimes box you into something that the Most High did not, okay? Because if the Most High says something other than what Esau says, then whose word are we going to go with, right? Obviously, we're going to choose the Most High's word. But the question is, what's the basis for that? What's the basis for him choosing us over other nations, right?
Because he made a covenant with us.
Okay, we're going to read that. Now, obviously, we're going to read that. Now, when it comes to us in the natural sense, what's the basis? Is it because of what we look like, or is it because of what? Is it our physical characteristics? What is it?
It's because. Right.
Yeah, Zach, what you think?
Now I'm saying it's because of the name.
What name?
Because his name Israel.
Well, his name just means something, right? Israel means what? What does Israel mean?
As a prince, he has power.
Right,
Yeah.
as a prince of the Most High, right? Prince of power. So that's just the name that the Most High gave him. But is it any? But why did he choose him over everybody else? Was it because of what he looked like?
Or why did he choose us over?
Yeah.
all
Why
others?
did? What's the basis? What's the reason?
chose Abraham because of his righteousness.
Right.
Obedience.
So it wasn't anything physical about Abraham. Okay. So is it racist? Okay then. Now,
He said,
I want you to see. I want you to start at verse 1. I'm gonna mess your heads up a little bit with
Well,
this.
back to what?
Deuteronomy 7:1, right?
Deuteronomy 7:1.
Yeah, I want you to
Okay,
read
right,
from
right, right.
starting at
Okay.
verse 1.
Yep. We're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Gershites,
Girgashites.
and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites,
Yeah.
7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
So check this out, right? He said 7 nations, right? And these are Hamite nations,
Okay.
so-called African nations, right? Mightier and greater than us, right? So they were stronger than us. They were more in number than us. They had more power than us, right? And he said, when I send you into these lands, right, against these nations, 7 nations that are greater and stronger than you, right? Read on.
It says, and when the Lord Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
So we got to destroy them, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto
Nor
them.
show mercy unto them, right? We got to make war with these people and not show any mercy to them, right? Read on.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shall not, thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
So this was obviously dealing with what? Interracial marriages, right? So whenever we always read verse 6, we always talk about, oh, we're Israel's above all nations. But when we read this verse actually in context, he's telling us not to make marriages with these other nations, right? These African nations, so-called, right? Now, is there much physical difference between us and these African nations? How many times did we get confused for Egyptians? There's intense physical similarities between us and the Egyptians, so much so that we always got confused for them, right? What's the difference? We're both dark skinned. We both have nappy hair, big lips, wide noses.
Right.
They're just a lot taller than us, right? The Egyptians were taller than us. What's up, Sharon? But why? Was it anything physical? I'm trying to get to right. Is that what makes us superior to them, or any of the 3? No.
it wasn't that.
Read verse 4. Why did the Most High not want us to mingle with these nations? Read verse 4.
Verse 4 says, for they will turn away thy son from following me.
Mm-hmm.
That's key right there. Yes.
That's the key.
Yeah, word.
Read on.
It said that they may serve other gods.
Uh-huh. Read on.
Word. So will anger of the Lord Yahweh be kindled against you.
Uh-huh.
And destroy thee suddenly.
Destroy us suddenly. So why did he not want us to mingle with these nations? Was it because of their racial identity? Was it because of anything physical with them? What was it? What?
It just said because they had turned us away from the Most High.
Which is referring to their what? Their
believe,
religion, their culture, their ethnicity.
Right, right.
So when we talk about race, right, we're talking about the physical makeup, right? Your biology, your hair, your skin, your eyes, your muscle mass, bone density. When we talk about ethnicity, we're talking about your culture, your ideals, your beliefs, music, the food you the food you eat, the music y'all listen to, right? What the certain customs that the people have. That's ethnicity. So when he tells us not to marry these people, he's telling us not to mingle with them because of what they believe in, what they practice, right? The gods that they worship, the philosophies that they believe in. That's what he's telling us, right? That's why he doesn't want us mingling with them, because they look just like us. It ain't physical. It ain't because of you guys are dark skinned and so are they. It's just gonna be more dark skinned people, right? So it's mostly because of their culture, because of what they believe in. They were into wickedness and witchcraft and all this other stuff. That's not racism. That is, say it. Go ahead, say it. That's ethnocentrism. Exactly. It's nothing physical with us, and we're actually going to read that as we go on. Right? Read on. Read verse 5.
Verse 5 says, but thus shall ye deal with them.
Go ahead.
Ye shall destroy their altars. And break down their images.
So their churches, their temples, their synagogues, their mosques, right? Nothing physical, but all of their institutions, their ethnicity, their culture, wipe it out, right? Don't practice that stuff. Read on.
It says, and cut down their groves. And burn their graven images.
All their statues, burn it down, right? All that stuff. That's ethnocentrism. That's not racism. It ain't physical with us. Read on. This is why he says this. Read on.
Verse 6, yeah, your word said, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Right. He said, listen, I don't want y'all going into those nations, marrying those people, because I chose you for myself. I chose you to do my will in the earth. I gave you a culture, and I want you to practice that. I don't want y'all practicing their culture. Okay? That's why I don't want y'all to marry into those nations. It ain't because of what they look like. Right? It ain't because of their physical features. It's because they practice wickedness, and I don't want y'all doing that. I made you to be a special people to me. I gave y'all laws, statutes, and commandments, and I want you to practice that. If you marry into those nations, they will have you practicing those wicked customs. And he wanted us to be away from that. It ain't physical, all right? It's ethnicity and culture, all right? Read on.
It says, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Right, go ahead.
The Lord Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people.
Right.
For you were the fewest of all people.
Right, he said we were the least numerable people. So it wasn't anything physical. We didn't multiply as many people as there were. Remember, how many people came out of Egypt with us, right? It was over 1 million people, because when you read the numbers in numbers, it says 603,000 just men. Over 600,000 men. We didn't even count the women and children, so you know that there were more of them than there were of us. So it was over 1 million people that came out of Egypt, right? And yet we were still the smallest number of people on the planet. So it wasn't anything physical, right? And like I said before, we we physically look very much like these other nations, these other African nations around us. So it wasn't anything physical that the Most High said, no, I don't want y'all dealing with them. It was because of what they believed in. So this is an act of ethnocentrism, okay? Read on.
It says, but because the Lord Yahweh loved you,
right,
and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers.
Isn't that what you mentioned earlier, Elihu? You said that earlier. You said because the Most High loved us, he chose us, right? He kept his promise, right? Read on.
It says, he hath sworn unto your fathers, hath the Lord Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen.
Out of the house of bondmen, right?
From the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
There we go. So it was not anything physical, okay? It's ethnocentrism. This is ethnocentrism. And I'm going to give you another one. Get me Romans chapter 3. Okay? We're going to start at verse 1.
In the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew?
Right.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Right. He said, what advantage then hath the Jew? So the Jew, the Hebrew, right? The Israelite, we have an advantage, right? Go ahead.
It says, much every way.
Much every way. Every way we have an advantage, right? There's an advantage to being an Israelite in every single way, right? Read on.
Chiefly
meaning mainly, right? The main advantage to being an Israelite is what?
It says, because that unto them were committed the oracles of the Most High power.
The oracles of the Most. We were given the oracles of the Most High. That's why we are above everybody else. Now, which one does that fall under? Is that racist? Thank you. That's ethnocentric. The Most High's ways are better than everybody else's. Remember, ethnocentrism is our ways are better than yours. And we witness ethnocentrism every single day, right? How much does American culture influence the rest of the world to the point where America tries to impose its will upon other countries, right? Just Esau in general, how often does he try to impose his will and his way among everybody else, right? Every second of every hour of every day. I forgot who said it, but he said America's biggest export is culture, right? America exports its culture around the world. They got military bases in every planet. They try to impose Rainbow Coalition on everybody and say, if you don't accept this, then we're gonna put sanctions on you, right? If you don't accept the rainbow people, right? The alphabet, and every other way. They think they make the best movies. They think we have the best cars. They think we have the best this and that and everything under the planet. That's American culture. That's ethnocentrism. How many times when other people come to America, right? And they don't speak English very well, what do they say? Oh, you should speak English or speak American. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
What, that if they can't speak it?
Yeah.
Say it again?
So like you see how sometimes people come from other countries and they don't speak English very well, right? You'll get these ignorant Americans, they'll say, oh, learn to speak American, right? If you hear them speaking in their own language, they say, oh, speak American, speak American. What does that mean?
Oh, pardon me.
It's a rhetorical question. It's not a real question.
Right, but if of course you're going to correct me wrong. That means that when they say they don't speak English, they only speak in their language. That's all they know. But then,
go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying. But then you would say yourself, with people they trying to, if you're gonna come to another country, okay, it's good to know your language too. But then you got to be able to fit in. If I'm saying it right, in order to get, what I'm saying, be able to move around and.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it's almost as if you're not American if you don't behave this certain way here in America. You know what I'm saying? So America has this insatiable thirst to impose its way on other people. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Right? Now, the scriptures tell us that the Jew has the advantage because we have the oracles of the Most High. Is that anything physical? Or is that racism? Is that ethnocentrism? Or is it nationalism? The brother said earlier, it's ethnocentrism. Okay? Because it's not anything physical. We have a law. We have a culture that the Most High gave us. That's what makes us over everybody else. Right? Now jump down to chapter 9, same book.
Yeah, verse 9. It says,
no, chapter 9.
Oh, chapter 9.
Yes.
Oh, Romans chapter 9.
Started verse. Started verse 1.
Started 1?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the book of Romans chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Yahushua, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
So Paul was really, he was in his, he was having a spiritual battle, right, over the state of his people, right? Go ahead.
It says that I have great heaviness. I read the verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Yahushua for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
According to the flesh, my race, right? My race. Go ahead.
It says, who are Israelites.
Who are Israelites. So even though, okay, where was Paul born? No, he was not born in Rome. Thank you. There we go. Paul was born in Tarsus, which would be in modern day Spain, right? So was Paul born in Israel? Clearly not, right? So by nationality, he was not an Israelite by nationality, but racially, according to his biology, right, his ancestry, he is an Israelite, right? So he said, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, right? So we're dealing with race now. But here where we go on, right? Read on.
It says, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory,
right?
And the covenants.
Right? Now we're getting into what?
The other one, I don't know which one. See, I don't know, have the definition in front of me, that's why I don't know which one.
Ethnicity, right? Exactly. There we go. Come on.
It says, what? And the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High power, and the promises.
And the promises. All these are ethnicities and cultural advantages that we have, right? Over our race, over our biological makeup. Okay, read on.
It says, whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh, Yahushua came.
Right, concerning the flesh, who Yahushua came. He came for who?
For Israel.
He came for Israel. He came for biological Israelites. Now, whether they got the culture part down and the spirit part down, that remains to be seen. But for the flesh, when it came to the biological people, the ancestral people that he came for Israelites. Okay, read on.
It says, who is over all, the Most High power, blessed forever. Amen.
Right, go ahead.
Not as though the word of the Most High power have taken none effect.
Right.
For they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
Right, go ahead.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham, are they all children?
So when he said, not all Israel, which are of Israel, you know how that's saying all skin folk ain't kinfolk?
Oh, yeah.
That's essentially what he's saying. Just because you are an Israelite by blood, doesn't make you one of the promised children or make you the children of the promise, as we're going to read on, right? Doesn't mean that just because you were born an Israelite doesn't mean that you are one of the Most High's chosen. Okay, read on.
It says, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Right, it says neither because they are the seed of Abraham. Remember, Abraham had more than one child, right? He had Ishmael, then he had Isaac, and then he had a bunch of other children afterwards, right, with Keturah. Now, those are racially our people. Those are our kindred, right? Those are our relatives, our cousins, and you know what I mean?
Okay.
Those different nations, because they come from Abraham.
Right.
But he said, in Isaac shall that seed be called. Now, read on.
It says, that is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High Power.
So now, because those are children of the flesh, right? They're different races that came out of Abraham. Remember, he said, I'll make you a father of many nations, right? Now, is it because those children are racially different than us, so to speak, right? Even though we all come from Abraham, those are still kind of our relatives, but they're different races. Now, because they come from Abraham, they're different races, but is that why the Most High did not choose them? So is it racism? No, that's not racist. He didn't choose them because of their racial identity. No. He said, in Isaac shall thy seed be called, right? Ishmael and Isaac came from the same seed. They are racially the same people, right? Now they branched off and became different races and different nations with completely different cultures and different identities, right? But they come from the same seed. But yet the Most High chose one over the other, not because of what that racial identity is, but because he made a promise, right? Read on.
It says, children of the Most High Power, but the children of the promise.
The children of the promise, right? Promise, right? Go ahead.
Are counted for the seed.
Go ahead.
For this is the word of promise.
Right.
At this time will I the Most High come, and Sarah shall have a son.
Right, Sarah shall have a son. This is the promise that he was made to Abraham, right? Read on.
It says, and not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac.
So now we're getting to the birth of Jacob and Esau, right? Now check out verse 11. Verse 11 is very key to a lot of, it clears up a lot of confusion. Read verse 11 real fast.
It says, for the children being not yet born, either having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High Power according to election might stand,
right,
not of works, but of him that calleth.
So, y'all ever heard how, especially Christians do this a lot. Christians do this a lot. They'll say like, oh, Jacob was a liar, or Jacob tricked his father and stole his birthright. But what does the scripture say right here? It said the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. Right? So that throws that out the window right there. Jacob and Esau, they didn't have anything to do with what the Most High chose. It was just something that the Most High chose on his own. In fact, Jacob was not with the plan at all. When you go back and read the story, he didn't decide to do that. But because Rebekah knew the prophecy, she put it into motion. The Most High put on her spirit to make decisions, right? And it said of him, not of works, but him that called. This was all the Most High is doing, right? Read verse 13. No, 12. Read on 12.
So it says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
The elder shall serve the younger. Go ahead.
But it was, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So now, again, I ask, is that racist? Is it ethnocentric? Or is it nationalist? Which of the three does that belong to? In your best words. Think about it. Everything I just went over, right? We started with Abraham, right? Or no, we started with Israelites in the flesh, our race. We're kinsmen according to the flesh. That's race, right?
Right.
And he said, look, just because you come from the seed of Israel does not mean you are an Israelite, right? So now we throwing out the race, we're dealing with the spirit. Now, when we talk about the spirit, we're dealing with the who? Yes, there we go. Or the spirit, right? The culture. Are you a practicing Israelite? Do you really believe in the Most High? Do you really take heed to the commandments that we were given? Right? That's what makes you an Israelite. Not just because you were born of Abraham. Not just because of your race. Okay? They always say that we're a black supremacist group, but we have Latinos in here, right? We have people of, just because you're not necessarily brown skin or dark skin does not mean you're not an Israelite. How many Israelites in the world look way different than you and I may look, but they're Israelites nonetheless? They may look just like Esau. They might look like Elam. They might look like whoever, but they're Israelites, right? It's not genetic. It's not just because of our ancestry, but you also got to have that spiritual connection to the racial identity or the ethnic. You know what I'm saying? When I say ethnic, I mean just like it's a euphemism for spiritual. Okay.
Yeah, because you're distinguishing ethnicity. Our ethnicity is made up of our culture, which when directed properly is spiritual matter because it's coming from the law.
Exactly. It came from the Most High. We didn't make it up on our own. Remember I read about the Sabbath day earlier. We didn't decide that today is the Sabbath day. He gave it to us. He made that decision and gave it to us because we could be doing anything, right? We get into American culture all the time. How many of us grew up in American culture and then learned that, oh wait, wow, we have an entirely different culture of our own. You know what I mean? We have an entire different ethnicity on our own. We don't have to deal with this. We can do this. Our God-given ethnicity and culture, which deals with the spiritual matters of things, not just the physical, right? So, did we jump down to 13? Yeah, we read 13.
14
okay.
or no?
No, we don't need 14. From there, give me Psalms chapter 78, verse 5.
78?
Psalm 78, verse 5. Now, don't get me wrong. Race is in the Bible. We deal with race all the time. When the Bible describes people's physical features, like when we do, like that's why we always try to teach Yahushua as a black man, because it describes his physical features. Okay, he is a dark-skinned man with white woolly hair. So he is racially a black man. He is an Israelite, but he's also ethnically and spiritually an Israelite too. Because why? He kept that pure culture, that pure spiritual power that came from the Most High. Okay.
And in that sense, then Yahushua was racially a black man, ethnically an Israelite, nationally came for the nation of Israel.
Exactly. Exactly. And Christ, we're going to read that Yahushua was the ultimate. He's going to be the ultimate nationalist. Okay, whether people want to believe that or not, he's going to be the ultimate nationalist. All right, you got that from me, Zach?
Yeah. Read that book of Psalms chapter 78, verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob. And appointed a law in Israel.
And appointed a law in Israel. He gave us a law. Right? Go ahead.
It says, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children.
Go ahead.
That the generation to come might know them.
Right. So we were supposed to pass down this culture, this ethnicity, this cultural and spiritual identity down to our children when he gave us this law, when he gave us this government or this code to live by. We were supposed to pass it down. All right, read on.
It says, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
So we're supposed to keep passing down this belief system, this culture, this ethnicity to our children. Not just because they're racially Israelites, but because ethnically this is what we do. This is who we are as a people. All right, read on.
It says, that they might set their hope in the Most High power, and not forget the works of the Most High power.
Right, go ahead.
But to keep His commandments.
And to keep His commandments. That's culture. Okay, read on.
It says, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation that set not their heart aright,
right,
and whose spirit was not steadfast with the Most High power.
Right. So we see our forefathers did not keep this. They did not hold on to this culture, and so much so that other people are walking around with our culture, even though they are racially a different people. Right? The heathen is walking around pretending to be us. We have the racial identity, they have the culture, but they are racially a different people. See that? Y'all see the difference, right? You see it. Okay? Now from there, get me Psalms 147, verse 19. This is what Elihu brought out earlier. Okay?
That book of Psalms, chapter 147, you said which verse?
19 and 20.
19, okay. Book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showed His word unto Jacob.
Showed His word unto Jacob, right? Go ahead.
His statutes and His judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
With any nation. He did not do this with any nation. What is that?
Oh, that's racism, no?
No. No, not even. That's ethnocentrism. That's ethnocentrism. He did not give this culture to anybody else. And remember, this ways came from the Most High. So I should have the meaning in front of me. It's better than everyone else's. This word is better than anything else. That's ethnocentrism. Right? Read on.
It says, He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for His judgments,
right?
They have not known them.
They don't know these commandments. They don't know why we wear fringes. They don't know why it's shameful for us to shave our beards. They don't know why we don't eat pork or crab or any of the sort. They don't know why this is the Sabbath day. They don't know this stuff. But who's gonna have to teach it to them?
Us.
Which is
Israel.
No. Which is?
Oh, you mean part out of the three?
Yes. Which is what is that? We're gonna have to teach these ways of the Most High. We're gonna have to teach it to the other nations.
See, I just had the meanings in front of me.
There you go. Okay, that's ethnocentrism. We're gonna have to teach this to other people.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to teach this to the other nations. Okay, our ways will supersede theirs. All right, we're gonna have them not. They ain't gonna be eating pork and shrimp and crab and lobster. They're not gonna be celebrating Christmas. They're not gonna be keeping those evil things. They're not gonna be keeping those wicked customs. Okay, they're not gonna be doing that stuff. All right.
That falls right under Abraham's siege of all the kingdoms of the earth be blessed.
There you go. Exactly. The brother said that falls right under. In thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Right. We will have to keep the earth in order with our culture, with our ethnicity, with our spiritual practices. They ain't gonna be worshiping Buddha in the kingdom. Okay, they're not gonna be doing that stuff. All right. From there, get me Isaiah chapter 2 verse 1. And this is where it comes from, okay?
In the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amoz, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills.
Right.
And all nations shall flow unto it.
So all the nations will come to Israel and worship at the Most High's mountain in the temple. By the temple, okay? They will come to us. Okay? We will be the top nation on the planet. All right? Read on.
It says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the Most High power of Jacob.
Right.
and he will teach us of his ways.
So I want you to underline that right there. And he will teach us his ways, right? Go ahead.
It says, and we will walk in his paths.
We will walk in his paths. So underline that too. Highlight it. Do what you got to do. All right? Emphasize that. Read on.
It says, for out of Zion shall go forth the Lord, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem.
So, verse 3, what does that qualify as? What is that? Is that racism? Is that nationalism? Or is it ethnocentrism? Or is it any of the two? Can it be two of them? A combination of any of them? What is that? It's definitely ethnocentrism, absolutely.
There's some aspects of nationalism.
And it's definitely some aspects of nationalism, absolutely. We will be, our nation will be the top nation on the planet, and we will teach everybody our culture. We will teach everybody the ways of the Most High, because his ways are superior. All right?
Zechariah says if they don't come up to that mountain.
Get it, Zach. Get it.
Say, what's that? What scripture?
It's a Zechariah. They ain't gonna get no rain. Exactly. Where is that?
Oh, okay, I read that before, right?
Where's that at?
I forgot offhand. I forgot when you get no rain.
One second. I know exactly where he's talking about. It might be. It's probably somewhere at the end, I believe. Zechariah.
The chapter where the is going to be cut off and dies. Probably that same chapter.
Zechariah. Hold on. 1 second. Bear with us. It is Zechariah 14 and start at 16.
16?
Yeah, start at 14 verse 16. Start there.
Book of Zechariah 13, 14?
Zechariah 14 and 16.
Oh, well, yeah, 14, okay. Remember, book of Zechariah chapter 14, verse 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts,
right,
and to keep the feast of tabernacles.
So, what does that sound like? What of the three? Does that qualify under?
Was it?
Definitely ethnocentrism, and what else? Anything else?
Nationalism.
And nationalism. That's right, because they gonna have to come to us.
Right.
All right, they have to come to our country. Right. Read on.
It says, and it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord Yahweh of hosts,
right,
even upon them shall be no rain.
And if you don't come up, you're gonna be dry season all year round. Okay, you don't come worship at the Feast of Tabernacles, dry season all year round for you. No rain, which means no crops, no food for you. Y'all gonna starve. And that's your punishment, right? Read on.
It says, and if the family of Egypt go not up, and come not,
right,
that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Right. That's all the nations, not just Egypt. Egypt's already a desert wasteland right now.
Yeah.
And guess what? They don't come to the Feast of Tabernacles, they're going to be an even more desert wasteland. Third world country for you, right? Read on.
It says, this shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
There you go, right? So all of that is ethnocentrism and a bit of nationalism. It's definitely a bit of nationalism, okay? Now from there, get me, this should be nice. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 54. Oh yeah, we're gonna go there too. We're gonna go there too.
In that book of 2nd, you said chapter 6, right?
Yes, sir.
6 what? Verse
54.
54, okay.
Yep.
In the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest, Lord of all thy creatures.
Right.
Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So clearly, everyone on the planet Earth comes from Adam. Racially, we all descend from Adam, right? Read on.
It says, all
Or
this
the
have I
Adamites,
spoken.
so to speak. Go ahead. Go ahead, yeah, keep going.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, Yahweh, Most High, said, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Right, the world was made for us, the Israelites, right? Go ahead.
It says, as for the other people,
The other people, those people, right? Go ahead.
which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
They are nothing. Those people are nothing. Right? Go ahead.
It says, but be like unto spittle.
They're like, phew. They, that's what they are to the Most High. Right? Go ahead.
And hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen,
Right.
which have ever been reputed as nothing,
Right.
have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
So he said, look, we supposed to be over these people, but these heathen who you accounted for is nothing, right? You said that, Lord. In fact, you don't have to go there, but you can put this in your notes. Isaiah 40 verse 15 to 17, right?
Isaiah what? 40 what?
Chapter 40 verses 15 to 17. You don't have to go there.
Yeah, that was just wrong.
You don't have to go there, but that's where he said that, where all nations are before him is like a drop in a bucket, right? That's what that verse is referring to, okay? Chapter 40 verses 15 to 17, okay? Write that down for your notes. That's where he said that all those nations are nothing to him, okay? They're like dust, right? He says, if those nations who you said they're nothing to you, why are they over us?
We know why.
How does that compute, right? Finish out.
It says, but we thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn, the only begotten, and thy fervent lover,
Right.
are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes,
For our sakes, right?
why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Right.
How long shall this endure?
There we go. So now, what does this fall under? Is this ethnocentrism?
I don't have it in front of me the definition.
I don't think so either.
Nationalism.
You say this is nationalism?
Yeah. And I think it has some
I was saying racism.
aspects of
Racism? Racism or ethnocentrism? You think it's ethnocentric?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you?
Because he said, look, but the brother, who's asking the question,
Azurus, okay.
why is it that, we gotta go through this and we ain't got nothing, we just say. So, of course, we know it's the Most High punished us, and he said, look, I will do this because of the rebellion in Israel. And he said he's not going back on his word.
Right,
So
right.
He said to Moses, look, tell them, I said, if they don't do this, I'm going to put you in the hands of your enemies, and all that hate you, and all of the nations shall destroy you. Right, then you shall become nobody.
Right.
Right, you forget your name, the land shall be the time of rest while we're not there, must experience all that shit. But he's sure that, look, I am dealing with the other nations. It's sure that the Most High is not dealing with the other nations. He don't really care.
Right.
He said he's just using them as the whipping stick on us.
Now, when they do that, it's an act of what?
Race.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking from
Those are acts of racism when they do that to us. because they're like, oh, you guys are nothing. You're dark skinned, you're ugly, you're cursed. Remember they always said that dark skin was a curse from the Most High, right? Especially the Mormons, they really believe that our dark skin is a curse, right? Or they'll say that, you know, we have features similar to monkeys and things. Our features is what makes us dirty, right? Not even just the culture, but just the fact that we look like this is what makes us cursed. But does the Most High ever say that? No, right? So this, I would say this kind of falls under all three, because Ezra is asking, how come my people are at the bottom, right? We're supposed to be the top dogs on the planet, which obviously sounds like nationalism, right? And ethnocentrism. You gave us this culture, but why are these heathens being racist towards us? Why are they treating us like monkeys and less than? Why are they calling us 3/5 of a human being, right? You're not a human. You're cattle. You're not a person. You're not a man. You're property. We strip your entire humanity from you and give you something else entirely. We're going to call you by something else. That sounds like racism, doesn't it? And when we get you out of slavery, we're going to systematically deny you access to anything, to a better quality of life, because we hate your guts. That sounds like racism to me, right?
Big time.
And I haven't been done because they know that the Most High chose us and not them. So they're angry and they're lashing out.
Yeah.
We'll fix them.
Yeah. Okay.
And a Muslim guy, his father, because I work with them pretty much, and the father said, why do we have him around? We don't really need him.
We don't need him.
Right. So he said, look, it's a family business. We really need him in this. So his son said, look, he's been around. He's pretty much helpful in the formulation of the product that they have. So his older son said, come, let's go to the back of the 12 Dad.
Right.
He said, but he didn't know I was listening. When he was way in the back, the son telling the father, we have to be smart. We have to use him for what we can get from him. Okay, this is our time. When them mighty Israelites come back, we're finished. But he didn't know I was hearing all that. So they know deep within their mind and their hearts, they know that, look, take advantage of us. Do what they can get, what they can get from us.
You're less than human. He's just a resource. He's just a means to an end.
This is their time. And they know the Most High gave them.
Gave him time. Yeah, he gave him time to rule. Right? So from there, jump to chapter, stay in 2nd Ezra, jump to chapter 5, verse 27 and 28.
The book of Ezra, 2nd Ezra, the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verse 27. And among all the multitudes of peoples, thou hast gotten thee one people.
So when you read from verses 22 to 26, Ezra says that, well, you don't have to read it, but when you do, you're seeing that Ezra is saying to the Most High, like, out of all these things, you chose this thing, right? Out of all the birds, you chose a dove. Out of all the sheep, you chose, out of all that cattle, you chose a sheep, and so on and so forth, right? But he says, out of all the peoples that you created, you chose one, right? Go ahead.
It says, and unto this people, whom thou lovest,
right? Go ahead.
Thou gavest a law that is approved of all.
That is approved of all. What is that?
Oh, that's ethnocentrism?
Ethnocentrism, right? Go ahead.
And now, O Lord, why hast thou given this one people over unto many? And up on the one root hast thou prepared others.
Right.
And why hast thou scattered thou only one people among many?
There you go. So we see that it's ethnocentrism there. He said, you gave us a law that is approved of all. It's better than everything else. There's no other way that's better than this, right? So our way is the top way. All right. From there, stay in 2nd Ezra, jump to chapter 2, verse 42. We're almost done.
42.
Yep.
By the way, they know because they have done their little research. The E1B1A DNA is our DNA. Nations don't have that DNA.
Yeah, because they come from us.
Exactly. We get the mothers and fathers of all.
Exactly. Exactly. Go ahead.
We're reading the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs.
They all praise the Most High with songs, right? So he said, I saw a number of people, so many people I couldn't number them, right? Go ahead.
It says, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest.
Right.
And upon every one of their heads he set crowns.
He set crowns, right?
And he was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
Right, so he saw this young man taller than everyone else, giving everyone around him crowns, right? Read on.
So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have that put off the mortal clothing.
Put off the mortal clothing, right? Go ahead.
And put on a immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High Power.
Right. Go ahead.
Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Right. Go ahead.
And then said I unto.
Go ahead.
Then said I unto. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth the palms in their hands?
Right, go ahead.
So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High Power, whom they have confessed in the world.
Right.
Then began a greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord Most High.
Go ahead.
Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen.
So obviously Ezra saw Yahushua putting crowns on people's heads, right? And he said in verse 45, it said that he answered and said unto them, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal clothing, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now they are crowned and receive palms. What does that sound like? Ethnocentrism. So yeah, as y'all can see, there's a pattern here. There's a theme here. Okay. All right. Now, I want you to go to Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. Because he's doing the same thing. He's going to see the same thing.
In that book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9.
You know what? Start at verse 4, because I like verse 4.
Revelation, chapter 7, verse 4.
Yep.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
There we go, right? Because when you read verse 3, it said the angel said, neither hurt the sea or the trees, so they sealed the servants of the Most High in their foreheads, right? And it said all the tribes of the children of Israel were sealed 144,000. Right? Read on and read quickly, please. Read on quickly.
Read verse 5?
Yeah, read verse 5 through 8 quickly.
Okay, yeah, said, of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000.
Yes.
Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Nephthalim was sealed 12,000.
Yep.
Of the tribe of which one? Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000.
Yep.
Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000.
Yep.
Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000.
Right.
Verse 9 too?
Yes, read verse 9.
Okay,
Yes.
so 9.
So you saw that the 12,000 were all of the children of Israel.
Right.
Now you're gonna say, they're gonna be like, okay. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, because people are gonna read this and say, oh, see, it was all nations. But read.
So,
Yes.
after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number.
So now, where did we just read that?
I forgot what scripture it was in Esdras, right?
Yes,
Yeah, it
second
was in
Ezra. He
Esdras.
said, I
That was
saw a
scripture.
number that no man could number. Right? Go ahead.
It says, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues
Right.
stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes
Right.
and palms in their hands.
Did we not just read that in second Ezra? Right? But he said, oh, all kindreds, all nations, all people, all tongues. Right? But what did we just read? Verses 4 through 8.
All about all the tribe. You're talking about still,
These all kindreds and tongues and people were Israelites that got pulled out of the other nations.
right.
So now what is this? Which of the three is this?
This is still E.
There we
Right, that's
go.
what I'm saying.
This is nationalism. Okay? This is nationalism, because it's a little bit ethnocentric too, but it's definitely nationalism. Because actually, no, just read on.
Okay, it says, verse 10, it says, and cry with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our most high power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshiped the most high power, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our most high power forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me,
Right.
what are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest.
He said, yeah, you know. You know what you're looking at. Go ahead.
He said, and I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
In the blood of the Lamb, right? These are those that believed in Yahushai, right? Go ahead.
So therefore are they before the throne of the Most High Power,
Right.
and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne,
And he that sitteth on the throne, right? Go ahead.
shall dwell among them.
See, there you go. So this is what? What is this? This is, go ahead. What is it?
It's E, essential.
No, it's N.
And national.
Nationalism. This is nationalism. Okay? Israel will be the top country on the planet. All right? Our country will be the top country on the planet. All right? And it's going to be so much so that the country is going to be so secure and so border heavy that we're going to put different gates at the different borders around the city. All right? Get me Ezekiel chapter 48, right? Verse 31. I'm going to read down to, and you read out the rest of the chapter.
So Ezekiel 48, right?
Yeah, 48 and 31.
48 and 41. Now the book of Ezekiel. Chapter 48. Oh, man, 30 pages. 48 verse 41. Right? Oh, man, pardon me.
Actually, start at verse 29. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now the book of Ezekiel, chapter 48, verse 29.
Yeah.
This is the land which she shall divide by lot unto the tribes of Israel for an inheritance. And these are their portions, saith the Lord Most High Power.
Right.
And these are the goings, out of the city on the north side.
Right. Go ahead.
4,000 and 500 measures.
Right.
And the gates of the city shall be after the names of the tribes of Israel.
Right.
3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben, and 1 gate of Judah.
Right.
And 1 gate of Levi.
So you have these gates, which is the north, right? This was the north side.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, and at the east side, 4,503 gates.
And 3 gates, right?
And 1 gate of Joseph, 1 gate of Benjamin, and 1 gate of Dan.
Right. So in the kingdom, Judah, it said Judah, Levi, and Reuben will be in the north. On the east, it will be Benjamin, Dan, and Joseph. So Dan will be coming back, right? Go ahead.
It said, and at the south side, 4,500 measures, and 3 gates, 1 gate of Simeon, 1 gate of Issachar, and 1 gate of Zebulun.
They will have the southern border, okay? And on the west, we'll have, go ahead.
It says, and at the west side, 4,500, with their 3 gates.
Right.
1 gate of Gad, 1 gate of Asher, 1 gate of Naphtali.
And Naphtali, they will be on the west side. That will be the borders of the city of Jerusalem in the new kingdom, okay? Those gates. Remember when Yahushua said you should be judging, you shall sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes? That's going to be in this fashion, okay? In fact, we can get that too. Where's that at? I believe it's in Matthew. I think it might be Matthew 7. No. Where's that at?
What does it pertain to? What does it pertain to again?
You shall sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes.
I forgot off scripture what that is.
Give me 1 second. Where's that at? Where's it at? Where's it at? You shall be sitting on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes. Judging the 12 tribes of it. Matthew 19:28.
19:28. Okay.
Read
the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 28.
Start at verse 27.
Then answered Peter, out of Matthew 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
Right.
What shall we have therefore?
What shall we? So Peter's asking, listen, we done gave up our whole lives for this mission that you're on. What are we going to get out of this, right? Go ahead.
It says, and Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you that ye which have followed me in the regeneration,
right,
when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory.
In the throne of his glory, right? When he's the top dog on the top nation in the planet, which is
Yahushua.
No, what is that?
Or Israel.
Yeah, well, what is it?
Oh, you're Palmer. You talking about the
Nationalism, right? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Judging the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Go ahead.
And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life.
So they're going to get a blessing. And he said, you're going to be judging the 12 tribes, right? We're going to be handling our own affairs. We ain't going to be worrying about them, about what these other people do. We're going to be handling our own affairs. That's nationalism. We're going to care about ourselves. Okay? We're going to maintain our own sovereignty in the kingdom. That's nationalism. Remember, we read about that earlier. All right? Being free from the influence of everybody else. We ain't gonna worry about what these heathen are doing.
I know, that's right.
Okay.
Read the next verse.
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
Now, from there, I want you to go back to Revelation.
Revelation.
Yes, chapter 14.
14.
Verse 1-3.
In the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a Lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his Father's name written in their foreheads.
Go ahead.
And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder.
Right.
And I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song
Right.
before the throne.
Right.
And before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
There you go.
Which were redeemed from the earth.
Right. So it was pretty much a continuation of what we read in Revelation chapter 7 with the 144,000 and the country, the men that were put in leadership in the nation of Israel. Okay. Now get me Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 9. We're almost
Nehemiah?
done. Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 9. Oh wait, I skipped the verse. Give me Ezra in the Bible first. Ezra.
Okay.
Ezra
Yeah, Ezra.
chapter 4
That's okay.
verses 1 to 4.
Just had it right there.
Ezra's before Nehemiah, just in case.
Ezra 1 or 4?
Chapter 4 verses 1 to 4.
Okay. Now, book of Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built the temple unto the Lord Yahweh, Most High Power of Israel.
So this was after the I believe this is after the Babylonian captivity.
Okay.
It was after the Babylonian captivity, we were returned to Israel, right? The king of Persia let us go back to Israel to start to build the temple, right? Go ahead.
It said, then came to Zerubbabel, and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your most high power as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Ashur.
Ashur, meaning the Assyrians, right? Go ahead.
Okay, so which brought us up hither.
Right. So these heathen were coming to us as we were building our temple and asked us to build with us, right? Because they were like, listen, we wouldn't sacrifice unto the Most High since they brought us up from Assyria, right? Now, how did we respond to this?
It says, but Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with
He
us.
said, get the hell away from us, right? Go ahead.
It says,
Huh?
I said,
You damn heathen, go away. We don't want your dirty hands defiling our temple. Read on.
it said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us
You got nothing to do with it, right? Go ahead.
to build an house unto your most high power,
So our power, right?
but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord Yahweh most high power of Israel, as King Cyrus,
Right.
the king of Persia, hath commanded us.
He said, look, we don't want y'all involved at all. We're doing this ourselves. What is that? Come on, I know you know. Say it. No. Oh, that's nationalism.
Funny, I thought it was,
That's nationalism. Listen, we don't want y'all help. We don't need you. You heathen, we don't need your help. We don't want your help.
That one's funny. It's not really tricky, but I thought one of the reasons why it could have been ethno was because even though they were adversaries, they were proclaiming to have done the sacrifice unto Yahweh since the days of Esarhaddon, the king of Assyria. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how sometimes Gentiles will supposedly get grafted in by keeping but
See, now the interesting thing is Cyrus and a lot of the Persian kings that we were under, I won't say like they were fascinated with what we believed in.
Right.
They didn't mistreat us as badly as the Babylonians or even the Greeks and the Romans did. Like they actually had reverence for what we practice, unlike everybody else. So they were interested in what we were doing. In fact, Cyrus was like, yeah, go ahead, go back to Jerusalem, build. You know what I mean? But still, he's a heathen. You know what I'm saying? He has no inheritance with us. So that's why it's nationalism. We don't want your help. You know why? Because if we let y'all in, then now you have rights, so to speak.
Right.
You have an interest and a say so in the affairs of the country. And no, no, we're not having that. Because now you're gonna pollute the sanctuary like that. Okay, and in fact, real fast, we're gonna get that in the First Maccabees. This is where nationalism really takes place. Okay, I want you to get First Maccabees chapter 2, right?
Okay.
And I want you to get verse 16.
You know the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 16?
Yes.
Verse 16 said, And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said unto Mattathias, On this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren.
Right. So the people who sided with the Greeks, they went to Mattathias to try and get him to pledge allegiance to the Grecian kings, right? To side with them, to turn his back on Israel, essentially, to sell out, right? And they tried to butter him up first. They said, "Look, you're an honorable man. You're a king. You got sons and brethren, right? Go ahead."
So, verse 17. They answered the king's officers.
You read that already.
Verse
Verse
18. Problem said, Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done. Yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem.
Right.
So shall thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends.
Right. And so he said, "Look, you and all your people, listen, come side with the Greeks, and we'll make you even more, noble and great among the people." Right. Go ahead.
So,
and rich too. He said, "Thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold, with many rewards." So he tried to butter him up, right, to sell out for his country. Right. Go ahead.
So, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold, and many rewards.
And many rewards. You're gonna get rewarded out of this, right? Go ahead.
And Matthias answered and spake with a loud voice, through all the nations that are under the king's dominion, obey him, and fall away everyone from the religion of their fathers,
right,
and give consent to his commandments.
He says, so all the other nations sold out. Right, go ahead.
It says, Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
He said, no, we're not going to sell out. We're going to keep the commandments of our fathers. Right, go ahead.
The Most High Power forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We're not going to break the commandments. We're not going to forsake the law. Right, go ahead. It says, we will not hearken to the king's words.
We will not listen to the king, right?
To go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
So we're not going to sway. We're going to walk that straight path, right? Go ahead.
So now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar which was at Modian, according to the king's commandment.
Right, go ahead. After you just finished saying all that, one of these sellout Negroes came down to the altar in the city to sacrifice. Right, go ahead.
So, which thing when Matthias, saw he was inflamed with zeal.
Right, go ahead.
And his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him up on the altar.
Right, so Mattathias heard that this brother was going to sacrifice a wicked sacrifice according to the king, the Grecian king, and once he heard about it, he went and killed that sellout, that Negro. Right? Go ahead.
It says, also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice. He killed at that time. And the altar he pulled down.
So he not only killed that brother, that Negro, he killed the commissioner of the king too. Right? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it said verse 26 said,
and destroyed the altar. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thus dealt he jealously for the law of the Most High Power, things did unto Zambri, the son of Solomon.
Right. So if you want to read that story, you could write down Numbers chapter 25, verses 6 to 8. All right.
Oh, say it again?
Numbers 25, verses 6 to 8.
Numbers 25, 6 and 8.
You don't have to read it now, but you can just write it down.
I remember that. Numbers 25, that's 6 and 8. Right.
Yes. Go ahead, read on. Read 27 and we'll close out.
It says, Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law,
right?
Yeah. Zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him follow me. So what is that? What does that sound like?
That's E, no?
That's E and
part of nationalism.
Yeah. That's ethnocism and nationalism. Ethnocentrism and nationalism. Because he says, look, we not following the king's commandment. And we want you out of our country. We want to be sovereign, free of your influence. He said, look, whoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, we're going to get these Negroes, these wicked heathen out of our country. Get them out the land. They're polluting the land, right? And then we will be free of them. We will be sovereign. That's nationalism. I love my country so much, I'm willing to kill whoever stands in our way to preserve our way. That's nationalism and ethnocentrism, right? So I hope y'all see.
It's an awesome class, yeah.
Y'all see that there is, fine lines between these things. So don't let Esau trip y'all up and call you a racist. Remember, racism, we have to have power to have racism, to be racist, right? We can't really be racist, or we can't really practice racism, okay? We can't really subjugate anybody based off of racist ideologies. We can't do anything here in America. We can't create laws and pass laws to say, you guys, this group of people can't own anything. They do that to us, okay? But we can teach the word of the Most High and tell you, look, turn away from your wicked customs, turn away from these heathen, and preserve the ways of the Father, right? We can be ethnocentric. We can say, look, our ways are better. We're not doing that. I'm not. I don't deal with that. Like you ever see certain parts of other people's cultures and you're just like, what the hell?
Like, why did they do that?
Well, why do they do that? Where does that come from? And then you learn the history of it and you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? But when you look up the ways of the Most High, you're just like, okay, yeah, this way is pure. All right? In fact, real fast.
Yeah.
Get Psalms, I believe 19 and 7. I think that's it. Psalms 19, yes. Verse 7 and 8.
That book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. Testimony of the Lord Yahweh is sure, making the wise simple.
Making wise the simple, right? So it can take a simple man and make him wise. It's perfect. The laws of the Most High are perfect. Okay? It teach you how to deal with the earth, teach you how to understand the times, teach you what to eat, what days are better than other days, how to deal with your people, and how to deal with other people.
Yeah. Whoa.
What more perfect way can you get?
No, that's right.
Right? Read verse 8.
So verse 8 says, the statutes of the Lord Yahweh are right.
They're right. Right?
Rejoice in the heart. And the commandment of the Lord Yahweh is pure.
It's pure.
Enlightening the eyes.
There you go. See? The ways of the Most High are perfect. Our culture is a perfect culture. Our ways are better than everybody else's. All right? And you can read that in Isaiah 55 and 8.
Yeah, well,
all right? His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts, right? They're better than everything else. Anything else that man can come up with, the Most High is like foolishness, right?
That's right, yeah.
And he gave that to us. We have a pure and perfect culture. All right? The laws are perfect. They teach you how to eschew evil.
Right.
How to detract evil, how to remove sin from your life, right? So, with that, any questions before we close out? Any comments, concerns?
Pertaining to all of this, you know how, of course, we know this is not our home,
Right.
right? But like those three topics, the racism, nationalism, and the ethnocentrism, and like you saying, when freedmen go, like say for instance, the things like their customs, we're not supposed to take on their customs,
Right.
But the thing, what I'm saying is, we're not supposed to take on them customs, their customs. That's why we don't want none of these. We're not supposed to get involved with none of these other different nations. Because if we do, all they're gonna do is turn us away from our most up power. So now when they call us names, this, that, and the third. But we still coming with the Bible because these are not our words; these are His words.
Exactly. And what else are they gonna say? What can they say against the Most High's word?
Right, and what's that scripture that's there? I'm gonna go to the scripture said, "He does not with me is against me."
Exactly. So that's pretty much it.
Pretty much
Anything
it.
I want to say? Anything you want to add to it?
That's
I had a question.
Sure. Go ahead.
You mentioned earlier when we were reading, I think it was the book of Ezekiel about the 12 gates.
Uh-huh.
48th chapter, I believe. What happened to Dan?
So it's believed, nobody really knows exactly for sure what happened with Dan, but it's believed that Dan got mingled amongst the rest of the tribes. But that he will make his own return, because I think he's even in Revelation 7, right, that we read about earlier. I think his name was mentioned too, if I'm not mistaken.
Revelation 7.
Revelation 7, and I believe the tribe of Judah, 12 thousand.
I read 1, 2, I think.
No, he's actually not mentioned.
Oh, is that okay?
But as you can see, he's clearly going to have his own gate. So he's going to make a return. But yes, that's the common belief is that he was, mingled amongst the rest of the tribes, kind of like Levi, so to speak, but not completely.
Where was it first mentioned that he? Because that's what I was unfamiliar with. Where was it first mentioned that he was like?
I have to get back to you on that.
All right.
Okay? I'll definitely have to get back to you on that because Dan is not mentioned anywhere in the New Testament.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not mentioned anywhere in the New Testament. In fact, I think he's not even mentioned past Deuteronomy, to be completely honest. But I would definitely get back to you on that. All right? Anything else? Huh?
Mighty lesson.
All praises to the Most High. All right. Anything else? Anybody? Ben, got anything?
Excellent class, always. What?
All right, Ben. Wow. Close us out. Let me say shalom to everyone. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right.